What's up, gamers? Welcome to Rant. My name's Kevin. In today's second episode that I'll be scheduling to release at some point, Jackal Goldkick wanted my opinion and thoughts on a video, and that just happens to be the amazing Lucas. And from what I gather, he has a pretty hot take when it comes to these things. So let's check it out.
This isn't about the game. This is about these ass suits. Now, here's the thing. They teamed up with Gameheads, I don't know, who helps impoverish kids who are unfortunate. Now, these suits were created by them. And let me just go and say, if this is what Gamehead produces, shut that charity down. I don't care if it's a non.
So they look like pajamas to me. I would say just looking at this picture, it just doesn't fit the aesthetic within of itself. But again, this is a design choice from the designers. But for me as a gamer, it just seems out of place. Like it doesn't fit the world that it's in. And it also just kind of looks like pajamas over a Spider-Man suit. I think it would have been better if they tried to incorporate these colors into an actual Spider-Man suit.
Profit, okay? Because clearly the kids that you are mentoring have no skill whatsoever. They have no design, no concept of design. These suits are ass.
I am excited to announce.
So in any form of art, whether we're talking like drawing, painting, sculpting, writing a book, even acting, directing, these are all skills that can be learned. And ultimately, the more that you do them, the more mistakes you will ultimately make, which ultimately means you will learn from those mistakes. This is a base fundamental of any artistic format. And it is the mistakes that you make that you ultimately learn from. And the fact that we're also dealing with kids here. So it's like the fact that he, a grown-ass man, is so up in arms about children designing something that they feel that they think is cool, that is awesome, for something that no doubt they also think is cool and is awesome. Spider-Man is, it shows you the maturity level of the amazing Lucas himself. Because it's clearly not about doing a good thing for a cause, regardless of the design choice itself. It's about the fact that he had to wait for these cosmetics that are garbage and trash, and he's not gonna fucking buy them, and he's pissed because of that. Like, you can clearly tell he does not care for the cause, for the children, or any aspect of that. It's about him, what he wants, what he desires in the game. Which is kind of ironic because it leads back to the old saying that I've talked about in multiple of my own videos. Don't like it, don't buy it. So that term itself is usually used in a negative context for someone who is talking, complaining, voicing their thoughts and concerns about microtransactions in gaming in general. And somebody will chime in, don't like it, don't buy it. And it's like, well, you're just stating the obvious. Obviously, I'm not going to buy it. That statement is far more accurate to the amazing Lucas in this context. And, I'm not sure what's more sad. The fact that he somehow thinks he has a better artistic design and skill, that he could somehow make something better, which he doesn't even actually prove in the overall context of the video, or the fact that he's going to sit there and demoralize children and whatever artistic skill that they ultimately have for his own views and subs.
A suit pack with 2 new Spider-Man suits for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. The 2 suits in the pack have been designed by Gameheads artists, and the pack will be available for purchase for $4.99.
And I know you want to say, but Lucas, they're inspired by the 90s and everything. I don't care what they're inspired from. They are ass. Nobody should be buying these suits. Oh, did I mention that you have to buy these suits? That's correct. For $5.99.
Well, we live in an age of DLC microtransactions. So it's like, what person, what grown-ass adult, okay, the gentleman behind the 9, is going to somehow sit there and make the mass assumption that these things, which were designed by a charity trying to get money to raise for charity, should be free? What is the logic in that? How is that going to raise money for the charity? Like I said, this sounds more like he's pissed that he doesn't get to purchase microtransactions that he feel would look cooler when he's just basically feeding the views and the flames and insulting children in order to get that outcome.
You could have 2 ass suits to help some kid who clearly knows nothing about graphic design, fashion design, animation, gameplay, nothing. I say,
well, where's your designs at? I mean, if you are the authority on good designs, bad designs, well, where's your Spider-Man cosmetics to show us? Well, where's your iteration of taking those colors and making them a better Spider-Man suit? Where is it? Where are they? They don't exist, because something tells me you have even less design skills than these children or teenagers. Take your pick.
F them kids. That's what I say. If this is what these kids are producing, then I'm sorry. Maybe game design isn't the place for you. Perhaps you should go into gardening. Did you ever think about that? Perhaps, I don't know, architecture. I don't know, wherever.
How many subscribers does this gentleman have? 408K. You have to tell me that there isn't 408K people that agree with this hot take, this objectively factual, childish take. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, what I just said, childish take, is actually an insult to children itself. I apologize. Clearly, we have a bunch of children that have far more maturity than the man. I was going to call him a gentleman, but technically, no, that doesn't fit either. This man in the video. Again, any kind of art form is something that is learned. The more you do it, the better you can become at it. So the fact that he, a grown-ass man, would sit here and talk down to these individuals, even though they're literally not in front of him. I mean, does he realize the potential consequences that could have if one of the kids that designed it saw this? Like, what if they became so distraught that they decided to take their own life? Like, what would his response to that be? Or what would his response be that they see the video and they don't do something as dramatic as I just said, but they decide not to continue designing anything because clearly they suck at it, so they shouldn't do it, even if they have a passion for it, because it is a learning curve thing. It is something that you learn to do. It is not something that's just handed you to on a fucking platter.
You want to go into, but game design, graphic design, concept art is not really, it's not really your speed, okay? Because these two suits are ass, and for us to pay $5.99 for this, you are out of your mind. Now let me tell you how they should.
No. The only person out of their mind is you. Because I've already watched this video. So what he's about to say is they should have chose a cooler design that would sell more money. Well, that would have sold and gained more money.
Should have done this. If you wanted to help these poor, impoverished kids, okay, what you should have done was put the Ben Reilly suit under a payroll. That's correct. That's what you should have done. You should have.
No, they shouldn't have, because that's what you wanted. That's what you wanted. And this isn't about you. It's about these kids and them learning to design. That's what it's about. Nobody gives two shits what a grown-ass man is ultimately thinking in context to what kind of microtransactions you would like to pay for. He also goes on to talk about how that the whole charity thing is capped at $1 million. So once they make $1 million from these microtransactions, they can no longer make any more money, which I will say, given the amount of money that companies can make from microtransactions, I would say that's pretty shitty on PlayStation and Insomniac's part to basically blue ball them like Lucas is blue balling the design choices. So the one thing I will ask of you is, I hope you give this video a like, and hopefully we can exceed the Lucas's 745 likes. But one thing I will be doing is, normally I don't purchase microtransactions. I think they do more harm for gaming than positive. But, you know, in this case, in this scenario, Lucas has shown me that, you know, there are definitely stupid ass people out there in this world. And I think that the money will benefit them even more, even though, yes, there is a bullshit cap on it from Insomniac and PlayStation, given the fact that microtransactions in general make an absorbent amount of money anyway. There's objectively no reason for them to do this. So I will be purchasing the Spider-Man 2, and I will be picking up these microtransactions with and of itself, just to kind of shove it in the Lucas face. Not that he's going to care. I hope you'll do the same thing, because remember, this is all a learning experience. They learn from the experience, and they will eventually become better designers within themselves. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video in some fashion or form. Remember, gamers, if you're not voicing your thoughts, concerns about the bullshit in gaming, microtransactions, loot boxes, and the dumb shit I'm not even going to call him a gamer, because that's an insult to the rest of gamers. People say on YouTube, you just might be a part of the motherfucking problem.